Still Dripping Happy Hour.
Welcome to the Still Dripping Happy Hour. This is your host, Mason. On the move tonight, we got Hayes. Holla.
Back like I never left. I feel like it's been ages. Good grief. Did I miss 2 episodes in a row or just one? It feels like 20.
Yeah, it just won, but it feels like we haven't been on a podcast in a long time.
Yeah. I was gone for 11 days in a row. So at work, and I've been there a long time. Like if you take, I got the Friday of Christmas off and the Monday, and then the same for New Year's. So if you take 4 days off, you get like 11 days off in a row. And that's what I did. I was gone.
That's great.
It was great. It was dope.
So where'd you go?
So went to Colonial Williamsburg, which is on the, it's like an hour and a half south of DC, which is it is a preserved town from the 1700s. George Washington stayed there and Thomas Jefferson. And so it was like a history tour.
Yeah.
That's the best way to say it. What I was telling you right before we jumped on is that it's not the same, but that would be my third time to be there. I went when I was in middle school and then once when I was in high school. So we went with our kids and my in-laws, and it's just a magical place. Like they're actors that this is their job, is being a blacksmith and a tailor, and and they're dressed up like 1700s too. And so it's freezing cold and they've got on, that garb. It's just cool, man. It's different. Yeah. But then we went to George Washington's Mount Vernon and Monticello and did all the history stuff in there. It was really cool.
I'm a nerd, so that sounds actually really fun to me.
It is for you. If you're a nerd, it's for you. I guess I can fake it.
See, the problem is I don't like. I am a history nerd. Like that sounds fun to me, but like Renaissance Festival does not sound fun to me at all.
But I did say this to my wife. We're walking down the street. Gloucester Street or whatever, the main street there, and it's closed off. You can't drive on it or nothing. Horse and buggy, like that's their transportation. And we're walking down there, and I said, "This feels like the Renaissance Festival at some level, but real."
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Did they have what would a person who makes shoes, a cobbler?
They had a cobbler. Yeah. Everything. They had people that made medicine, ibuprofen and allergy medicine. Wow. There's people at gardening.
What kind of shoes can you expect out there?
Dude, straight up, like if you go watch, think of maybe I'm going to show my nerdness here. One of my favorite movies, still to this day, it's because of how it made me feel when I was a kid, is Swiss Family Robinson. It's Swiss Family Robinson shoes, like leather with a little platform and one buckle. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yes. Like a pilgrim shoe.
It is a pilgrim shoe, not like a pilgrim shoe.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I do wonder, is this, you said you went in high school. This was your third time going. Is that trip in high school where you found your love for all things Amish and why you helped that guy open that Amish store?
Nope. That was that's for business purposes. That's why I liked Amish stuff. There's also a reason why I didn't particularly do super good at it, because it was not something that I am a person, and this sounds so cliche, is that if I'm going to do something like that, I need to be passionate about that.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Very fair.
I'll
Okay.
say so. One more thing, just since we're talking about it. It was like I've done all this before, and I feel like we've been open enough about things on this podcast to know how I feel about the world. There's some messed up stuff in our past, like there of the United States. Like there is some messed up
Right.
racial. There's some really messed up stuff, and that was a takeaway. Not that I didn't already realize that. I'll say that. Um, you can everything is easy 2020 hindsight, right? Everything is
Yeah.
easy
Yeah. Right.
2020. And that's the thing that is hard to balance in that whole conversation of racism and slavery, and it's messy, man. That whole thing is just messed up.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know how much you know about
Absolutely.
Thomas Jefferson, but like so much of he's a messed up guy. Genius, right? A genius type. But man, some of the decisions that you just look at and you're like, "Oh, what is he thinking? Like, why?
Yeah.
How do we get to that point?" And at the same time, again, it's easy because hindsight's 2020. You think it's common
Right.
sense. 500 years later,
Yeah.
400, however many years later. Anyway, that was, I don't know. It just makes you think.
Yep.
Not in a bad way.
Well, thank you for sharing about your why you missed the podcast last week. Your excuse note.
Thank you.
Last week, what you missed on the pod, we did our 2020 recap. So I just wanted to let you. We'll just briefly go down. If you want to hear the other crew members' answers, you can go to last week's
So it's everybody
podcast.
but me?
Yeah, we had the
Man,
full
that
squad
sucks.
minus Hayes. As Landon would say, that meant it was a great pod, but I don't know.
Which he was supposed to be on here and he wasn't going to talk to me the whole time. Which
Right.
why? What was that
I
about?
think he likes to hold grudges a little bit.
But what did I say?
I don't know. I think you made fun of him for only ever posting once in 3 years.
Well, it was because he talked crap.
Yeah, right. It was a rebuttal.
Yeah, typically I don't proactively go after people.
Yeah,
That may not all be
typically.
true.
So we had, and I can throw up the banners from last week. Just quickly, my big winner of 2022 brand wise was New Balance.
New Balance. I knew it.
So
really?
Yeah. Who would you can go winners, losers, winners and losers of 2022. Just
like
quickly.
I feel like the loser is easy, and it's Adidas. Big loser of last year. Yeah, New Balance I think was a big winner. I think a loser for last year too would have been Supreme. Was a pretty big loser.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dan
said that one as well.
And like the hype world, trying to think of anybody. I mean, Kith is always strong. I don't feel like I feel like they could have taken a pretty big jump with what I felt like was Supreme falling off, but
yeah, I had Kith on my winners list because of the they get to do like the Kith night and they designed the jerseys for the Knicks and the floor. Had Kith on it. I feel like that's a pretty big win for bringing in new people who may not have heard of Kith, but everybody watches the Knicks, so that's probably a big win for them. There was one other thing that I wanted to ask you about. Oh, Dan posed a good question of, would you put Travis Scott on the losers list of 2022?
barely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like what we said even at the time, right? It was my job. My government job is in the public arena. And when you work for a person and that person says some controversial things and does some controversial things, in my experience, and the way the world works now, is what I said when all this happened, is that it gets really loud for a short amount of time, and then people's memory is quick, and then you're on to the next thing, and you just wait for the next crisis, really. And that sounds I don't know how that sounds, but I've done my job for 12 years, and that's how it goes. The cycle is that way. And that's what I thought was going to happen with Travis Scott. So for a few seconds, the thing is, like, it's hard to compare it to my job, but it's not comparing. It's you can't compare it,
Right.
but you would think logic says, and this is how messed up the society we live in is that Travis Scott should have been canceled.
Right.
Should have, but because we're in an upside down world and right is wrong and wrong is right and good is bad and bad is good,
Mm-hmm.
who knows? The irony
Yeah.
is that people got canceled because they didn't want to get a COVID shot, and this dude had a concert worshiping Satan and killed people, and
Right.
he's fine. What does that mean? Who's in charge of our world?
Right.
Who's in charge of our world?
It's interesting. Yeah, I would say I don't think he ever recaptured as much attention as he
Yet.
had.
He also hasn't put out
Right.
any new music, which is half the problem.
That
Once
is
the album
true.
drops and it's anything, because we've gotten so much bad the last 3 years, he'll immediately jump right up to the top. Immediately.
Yeah.
We'll forget all about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay. Any other comments? We had a couple questions on best collab of the year or best general release of the year. I included the Lost and Found as a general release because I felt like that was
Yeah.
on par with the general release. So that was my winner of the year. But do you have any others that you thought
Hey,
were really good?
Really quick, this is because I'm distracted by it. In this shadow, you can see how I've broken my nose 2 times. Do you see this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where is it?
If
Right
you're
here.
on,
Man, that's
if you're
messed
not
up.
on YouTube, go check it out. You can, yeah. You
Oh
can
my
really
gosh. And I had stuff taken out, and it's still that. Oh man, that's messed up. Okay, I got it. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not usually out here, and this light is making that really obvious. Okay, screw it. I don't care about model or anything. I agree with the Lost and Found. I saw some list where that was like the 5th best release of the year, and I was like, who is smoking crack? That's
Yeah.
that's dumb.
Yeah.
I feel like Dunks just really took over all of last year. That was the big. I think it's pretty obvious, but
Yeah, you'll have to go back and listen. At the end of the episode, we built a time capsule for
you did.
sneakers of 2022, and we were supposed to keep it to 5, but I think we ended up with 12 shoes on there. But yeah, just there's a lot of things that Panda
forgot
Dunk,
about probably. Yeah,
Panda
took
Dunks,
over.
like you have
took over
to
the
take.
universe.
Yeah, the
I saw
universe.
people in pandas at Colonial Williamsburg.
That's where it's at, man.
That could be a more than sneakers moment. It's because several people I saw, I was like, pandas in the wild, or there was a few other times where I saw somebody with something on, and somebody even saw me, and it wasn't even anything crazy, but I had a Supreme beanie hat or whatever you want to call it on, and somebody was like, "Is that real?" And I was like, "Yeah." Where are you from? That's how that goes.
Oh man,
walking around Colonial Williamsburg.
Very nice. Yeah, Panda's crazy. You know what? Let's just before we get into our regular sneakers content, let's go to top 5. I just want to get
Got it good.
I just want you to hit us.
Good.
Hit us with your top 5 shoes of 2022. We all did this last week. I can go over mine if you want me to.
Yeah, go over yours.
I think I have a change in mind.
Go spit it.
I'll just tell you the order I had last week. At number 5 was the Georgetown High 85s.
Oh yes, sir. I forgot about those. Number
4 was a little sleeper pick. It's called the Mosh Runner. So let me find a picture of it for you. Here was one of the colorways that I liked. If you're looking on YouTube, it's in the top left. So it's like that one's called Off Road, but he also did a Staple Pigeon collab with Jeff Staples for Complex Con. It was all gray with touches of orange. I just think that's a really dope shoe. It's
interesting. I mean, I did not see that coming from you.
Yeah, they're reselling. So they're a pre-ordered type deal. So I should have bought them on on the general release, but it's from a customizer who came out with his own silhouette. So I really, really like those, that off-road colorway. Then I had Lost and Founds at number 3, the Air Max Crepe Hemp at number 2, and then the Ama Maniere 4 is really grown on me. So here's a little hypocritish. I don't know if I could wear the 4, Ama Maniere 4, but I just love the look of it. I think it's a great look. Don't know if it'll look good on me though. So honorable mention was the Kobe,
the black one you just showed.
Yeah, the Mambacita. Yep.
And you had some 550s in there. Yeah, I saw that.
That wasn't for mine. That was just a general release.
Okay.
I feel like you got to put the 550s in the time capsule too.
Okay.
So top 5 of 2022. What
you have a really solid. I don't know about the Mosh runner, but besides that, can't argue with anything you said. Yep. Lost and Founds, Georgetown High 85s. I'm hypocritical a little bit because I probably wouldn't wear them, but I think it's hard to not put the Cherry 11s in there probably. Another sleeper that I really, really liked and I will get at some point is the Nike Dunk Low Argon, which is like this. I'll show you. Bad radio, but whatever. These guys right here, the blue ones.
Blue ones. Yeah.
Those. I'll have those at some point. I mean, I've got my first pair of 550s last year. So, I mean, I would probably put those on in some form or fashion. Man, there was a lot of forgettable stuff, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of
There's
timeless.
A lot of forgettable stuff. Would you put on...
Go ahead.
Would you put on there any off-whites? Like the Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones?
I mean, they were dope, but it's just that one wasn't for me. I'd have a hard time putting it in the top 5.
Yeah.
If it's a resale and just like straight up expensive and you should get them to sell them.
Right.
That's the main ones that I'm coming up with off the top of my head. I just have to look a little bit more and something will pop in my brain.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right. Well, with
was
that,
whoa. Was the Rebellion year? Was that last year? Rebellionaire? Hold up.
Rebellionaire? I don't remember. I really don't know.
Okay. Another one off the top of my head. I feel like the Yeezy Slide, the foam runners and the slides both, it's hard to not put them on there because I feel like everybody and their mom had those too.
Yeah.
I
put
those
runners
in
or
one in the
slides.
same. Yep.
Yeah.
That's just that just hit me. Yeah. I guess that's it for now. I'll keep thinking.
All right. Well, with that, we can jump inside the box and get some currency.
What's inside the box?
That's my shoe in the box.
Holy crap. I just hit. Oh, man. I don't want to steal your thunder, though. Did you guys talk about the Morants?
We
was
did.
That breaking? You did. Was that breaking news when the podcast
I was pretty close. We talked about it. Yeah.
You did.
Quite a bit.
Man, we haven't even got to talk. What do you think about them?
I like them. I think they're a really dope shoe. I did not like that first OG colorway that the pictures came out in. That blue color. Did not like that shoe at all. Something the pieces did not work with the color blocking. But the ones that he's worn on court have been dope. All of them have been dope, in my opinion.
The logo looks good. Like he immediately jumps way up there. He did a great, like just from a whatever standpoint, he kept it simple. He went more with the LeBron 20 formula.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it works really, really well.
Yeah. I told Dan, I thought it was interesting that we found out recently that the Paul George is not going to be a signature shoe anymore.
Shocker.
And it felt to me like that was kind of like a Paul George sneaker.
Okay.
More
mixed
than
with
a
Kobe.
I
felt like it was more of a Kobe.
Yeah, a little bit of a Kobe, but I really think that Devin Booker's signature shoe coming out later this year is going to be a Kobe. the next Kobe model.
Okay.
Um,
That would make sense too. I mean,
yeah,
he's got a Kobe quote tattooed on his leg or something where Kobe
right,
wrote him something.
exactly. So, um, but yeah, Jaws really the midsole to down to the sole look like a PG to me. But yeah, the Christmas colorway with the smoke, the chimney
Mm-hmm.
quote, um, a lot of cool details on there. I thought the way
Killed it.
they did the wrapping paper on the box and had his daughter bring it to him,
Yeah,
like
it's a
the
great idea.
presentation was so beautiful. Christmas Day release. Nike nailed it with those,
Do
and
you
the
feel like
shoe
we're
itself is so
homering?
good.
Do you feel like we're homering this too much? Because as soon as I saw it, I was like, I don't. Maybe the bar is just so low. Because when you think of all the current signature
Yeah,
stuff, it's just like so much of it is trash, and
yeah.
I don't
All you got to
know.
do is keep it simple. And here's the OG that we're if you're looking on YouTube, the OG colorway. Yeah, this pink with the gold is what didn't work for me on this one. But
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. It looks like a Grizzlies besides the pink, though. I mean, you could see
yeah,
that they're trying to
right.
make it the blue is going to match jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Try.
Exactly. Um, on this initial side view, this panel right here that is kind
Yeah.
of like the bottom part of the laces, it looked like a strap, which worried me. But I think they pulled it off. It looks great. It looks like a good shoe you can play in. Obviously,
Yeah,
you're
it
not going to wear
does.
these off court, probably, and maybe in a different colorway. But um,
I
this
could see.
name,
I think I told you in our text group is that he hurt his ankle in the second week of the season. He missed a game, and they thought he was going to be out a long time. And then he came back wearing Kobe 10 Elites,
mm-hmm,
and I wouldn't be shocked. It'd be cool to see him try to make a elite model, real high cut
yeah.
version of the shoe.
I
I
don't
mean,
feel
it'd
like
be different.
Nike's done an elite version of shoes for the playoffs like they used to back in
Yeah.
2013, 2012. Um, they would come out with those, like almost like KD had a superhero pack, but um, I guess it was just an elevated version for the
Yeah.
playoffs. It was superior for performance, superior materials. That would be cool to see Ja do that and
Yeah.
get
Just a little different.
something, yeah, maybe like a mid cut or something.
I also saw a pair of Lucas and a guy, a probably 60-year-old guy wearing a pair of Lucas in the wild today at work. And I was like, they actually look really good. It's the black and white
Really?
colorway or the white with the black, whatever
Hmm.
whatever you want to call it, the mesh was black. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, they work. They're not bad.
Really?
And
Okay.
I guess they're comfortable because this 60-year-old dude was wearing them. I didn't get to talk to him. He's either a huge Luca fan or he's like, man, I want some comfortable shoes. And he looked like he's probably a size 13 or 14. Big,
Wow.
tall guy.
Yeah, that may have been just a return to the Nike outlet, and
I'll
that's all they
ask him
had.
tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll go
Good.
ask him tomorrow.
All
More to the
right.
sneakers moment. I'll report next week. 60-year-old dude talking
Perfect.
about his Lucas. He didn't have on clouds.
Yeah, that's good. We'll wait for that more than sneakers moment. All right, let's get to the news this week. You put together a few slides for us. This
Oh
one's a
yeah,
little
here we
busy
go.
to break it up,
Sorry.
but we've
Yeah,
got
you did. You did a good job.
the Jordan lineup for 2023. Some have been
Yeah.
announced, some are just still rumored.
Oh, see,
Ones to note
I saw
about
that this
watching.
was the official, like these have been these
I
are
think they've
confirmed.
I think they've been named. I think we've seen pictures, official pictures of all the spring ones,
Okay.
spring, summer, maybe, but I don't think we've seen official pictures. Some of these are mock-ups of the rest. I guess the rest of the year after that. So the second half of the year.
Let's take this a slide like a section at a time. So let's start
Okay,
with the big block over here.
the big block on the left. If you're on YouTube, we're looking at, I guess, the notable ones. You've got up in the top right is we've seen this before, right? It's like a
Yeah,
heritage to home type thing, or
it's a Chicago to UNC
yeah,
UNC to Chicago low. Man, see, I
yep.
was going at this. The first one that pops out is the Spider-Man one over here.
Spider-Man. I just
Yeah,
don't think that's a good
I
shoe.
don't think so either, but I mean, my brain went to money and selling it.
Yeah.
What is this Jordan next to this Travis Scott in the middle?
I think it's like a
Is that an Amaminier? It kind
which
of looks like
one?
that
I'm
way.
sorry.
Okay, so for the far, okay, so the column that the UNC to Chicago's in, go down middle, and then one over to the it's my left.
Okay, the white with it looks like an Alma Menier
Tan?
one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does look like that similar style, but
What
maybe
is
it's
that?
I don't know. The laces on that look almost Gore-Tex-ish.
Man, that looks super dope. I mean,
Yeah.
in this tiny little picture.
Yeah, that is a cool look. We'll have to blow up some of these and put them on another episode. But you've got Black Toes coming back.
Yeah, heck
some,
yeah, those are dope.
Some purple and black Jordan ones.
We got two Travis Scotts caddy corner from each other.
An olive.
I like the
Travis Scott, and then
I
a
like
black
the-
and aged white.
whichever one the person actually is wearing is the ones that I like. Like those are
Yeah,
dope.
it's like an olive color.
Is that what that is?
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell.
Then you've got some all chocolate Jordan 4s. Got the Alma Menier 12s on here.
Dude,
looks like
hey,
some infrared 7s instead of 6s.
What is standing out to you just like first glance and not a specific shoe, just a observation?
There's a lot of cream on here.
There's a lot of cream, but what model?
4s.
I'm sorry. Twos.
You see a lot of 2s?
Look
I
at
see a
all
lot
these
I see a
2s.
ton of 4s.
Look at this. Top row is a 2, a low. Third row is another low. Fourth row is a low 2 of them. Another low on. Look at all these 2s.
There's a lot of
1,
lows,
2.
but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4s in this first block right here.
There are
That's a-
9 2s in this one big
9
thing.
2. Oh
9
man, that's a
of
lot
them.
of 2s. Hey, we're just trying to build.
That's what I'm saying. Like, holy
It's-
crap.
And what's crazy about that, and there's a lot of neutral colors, a lot of cool looking 2s. I will give them that. But the best OG 2s are sitting right now.
That's the slide I have.
Yeah, the Chicago 2s. If you don't have a 2 and you want a 2, the Chicago 2
Yeah,
is a
go get the
really
Chicagos.
really
Yeah.
good one. Here it is. If you're looking on YouTube, we have the slide up now. That is the OG 2. Jordan
Yeah.
didn't wear these a ton because he was hurt, I guess. But this is the one he wore. A
Yep.
lot. So, yeah, I just that's crazy to me that people buy. If you just put somebody's name on this as a collab, people would buy it.
Yep.
And that's what's
Balvin
wrong with the sneaker game.
or anybody else, but pretty
It's
much.
such a classic shoe. I know I flipped the script a lot on 2s.
Me too.
But yeah, this is a perfect 2. I tried
I'm
to get
more
those.
likely to rock a low than I am a high.
I tried to get those 218 lows, the brown ones. They were sitting, but not in a 12 or 11 and a half. I was very sad about that. All right, moving on. There's not a ton on here. There's some really bad shoes on here.
Lots
some
of
5
bad ones.
lows, some 6 lows.
Ugh, gross.
Just not a great look. I say what's one that's interesting to me is there's 2 different Laney Jordan 1 colorways.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And then the black and brown with the gold wings logo, Jordan 1 on the
Come
right
on.
side.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest, I think I like that better than the Mocha.
Oh, really?
The more I look at the Mocha, I've had that on my list a long time. But if I'm looking down at the shoe, I don't feel like I can pair brown with it because the whole thing is black and you just have brown on the back. The brown is only on the heel for the Mocha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it on the swoosh as well?
No, just like the
No.
Travis Scotts. It's just the brown.
Yeah, so
Or just the back.
yeah, that kind of messes with me, if I'm being honest. I like
Clashy, a little
the
clashy.
the hazelnut
How
ones
is
that are
this one
coming
not?
out.
How is that one not clashy then? I mean, look at it's a lot of black and then brown. I mean, things just ain't the
Yeah,
same for gangsters.
I guess clashy isn't the word. To me, if I'm wearing something brown with it, it looks only like a black shoe unless you see it from behind.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I'm still in the market. I really like the khaki and brown, whatever mocha Jordan 1 or coffee colored Jordan 1. I don't know what it's called. Hazelnut, something like that.
Hey, is this some 23s down here in this? I think it is. Okay, do you see the small?
Yeah, it is. Uh,
Holy crap.
with the mint colored background.
Yeah.
I think that looks like 23s. Maybe for 2023, we'll
Wow.
get
Maybe
a
that's what
retro
it is.
23.
What is your so if I'm looking at this whole thing and just eyeballing it, top 3 or 4, like I think the number 1 is the brown one on the bottom, second to bottom row on the big picture.
With the light, yeah, it's like a Jordan
Uh,
1 with a light khaki
Oh my
toe
gosh, man.
and then a darker brown swoosh. Yeah,
That's
I
number
would say that's
1.
number 1 for me
And I
as
don't
well.
I don't know if it's close. It would be that one and then the Travis Scott's right above it. And then those ones that I keep pointing out that I can't whatever that is. It look I'm I'm into the lost and found look and they look
Right.
old and they looked aged and I
Well,
love that.
my number 2 would be those lost and found 3s. Whatever they're gonna call
I'm
them.
so sorry.
The
I have a slide for that
reimagined
one too.
3s.
Yeah, but they're not
Yep.
on here yet. I'm sorry. I'm just
Yeah,
going
they're
by
up
the
at the
ones. Were
top.
they?
Very top middle
Oh,
of the big
100%.
picture.
That's okay.
Yep.
So if that would be that's probably number 1 for me. And then
Another one on here, the solid grays that are underneath the black toe, those are cool. And they're coming out with the flip ones, right? That's what the all elephant print
nah.
with white underneath. That I think that's more of a nostalgia thing for some people.
Yeah, that one's not for me.
I've heard in the last 3 months at work when I talk about sneakers with a couple of guys, both of them have mentioned the flip 3s, and that was like one of their first sneaker moments. Not that they love them, but that was one of the first like moments of them remembering a sneaker drop. Is
Okay.
the flip 3s came out with maybe the white cement 3s, maybe. It was around 2003 era. So, but that was one of their moments that they remember, like, oh, when those came out, that's like I loved those.
They remembered. Yeah, and I love that kind of stuff.
Right.
Lastly, I would say these. I can't believe I'm going to say it, but these UNC low 2s over here above the Spider-Mans. Like, if I
Yep.
was going to have a pair of 2s, that's going to be a tough one for me to not go after. If it
You
wasn't
should
those
get
brown
those.
ones, they're dope.
Yeah,
I
those
just
are
don't have a
dope.
lot.
That's
Believe it or
super
not, I just don't have a
low
lot
on
of
this
stuff to go
picture.
with it.
Yeah. These the brown. If you're not on YouTube, I'm sorry. We're talking a
You
lot
need to
of
make the switch over, by the way.
colors.
Come
Yeah,
over to
make
YouTube.
over.
It's way
make the
better.
switch
Better
over.
experience.
But if we're looking at the big picture on the left, the 2 that's closest to the bottom right corner, that's a good 2. It's got a cream colored sole, white
okay.
upper, and then a little bit of brown coming across. That would
It's
be
not
one you
bad.
could rock as well. All right, let's get out of this Jordan
Let's
talk.
do it.
We already talked about the Chicago 2s, and 37 is still sitting as well, but nobody's
But it's an
surprised by
undefeated
that.
collab, and so you would think like if something was gonna do a little bit better, it'd be an undefeated collab. It'd be interesting to see, just for the sake of principle, if Travis Scott did a 37 collab, if people would buy it based on this.
It would be interesting, yeah.
Oh,
All
man,
right,
come
then we've
on.
got what we talked about a little bit already again. Reimagined pack, Jordan 3, white cement, coming out is that February? March? March. I think it's All-Star break.
Okay.
Is when it's slated for. Yeah.
Do you have any cements? Like, do you have any of these already?
No, I don't have any of these.
I've never had a pair. And I mean, by golly, I got to get these guys.
Yeah. It's gonna be. I don't need any more sneakers right now. I'm actually trying to wear what I have and doing
You're doing such
pretty
a
good
good job.
job
I'm
at
so
it.
proud of you.
But these are gonna be tough to pass.
Yeah. I mean, this is the only
These-
OG colorway of threes I do not have. I've got all the other ones, and I wear them all the
What
time.
are all? What are all of them? You got
Black,
cement.
True Blue. Well, it's not OG. True Blue, Fire Red,
Fire red threes.
Mocha was an older that was really early. This is the ones I don't have. I don't have these.
How many OG colorways of threes were there?
Really, it was just these
Just
and the black
threes?
ones. But then he started wearing in 2003 is when the Mochas would have been 98 or something like that. Maybe it was like the
I
10-year
didn't know those were that
anniversary.
old. Wow.
Yeah, so they were pretty old. And then the True Blues, he started wearing those when he was playing for the Wizards. So that would have been
Okay.
2002 or 3.
Yep. Yeah, this is a very clean pair of shoes.
Yeah.
All right. This is the ones I was
That's the one
talking
I
about.
put. Okay. Man, see, look, it's like we planned this out and I didn't.
Yep.
Yeah, these
So
aren't bad,
we did
man.
blow it up. This is called the Air Jordan 2 Craft, and it is the Air Jordan 2 High, all leather. It looks really quality. Got cream colored sole. This is the one I was just telling Hayes that he should get. This shoe works.
I don't like the pink, but besides that, I mean, I'm nitpicking. Yeah,
It gives a retro
largely
feel
works.
to it.
Okay.
This almost feels like a home version of the Ama Man Year 2, like an alternate.
Okay.
Ama Man Year 2 alternate to me. It's got that same like aged feel. I think it looks really good. I'm out of the market for twos, but
yeah, me too. Besides those UNC ones, do you feel like the gray just kind of they could have done a different color with the gray?
on the sole,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a blue gray. I don't know. I kind of like it. It's almost like given that feel of a translucent icy sole, but more retroed out, like not yellowed. But I guess twos aren't known for any type of icy sole, so you just put that grayish blue on there.
Hey, by the way,
I think it's okay with the pink.
I was wrong. I stand corrected. There's 4 OG threes. The white ones that we just looked at, the black ones. You have the black ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The fire reds, and then the true blues. So there's the 4.
There was True Blue.
I was
Okay.
right. Well, I mean, I was kind of right, but I thought they were later.
Yep.
When was Mocha's then? Keep going.
All right, we'll keep on going. Flooding through some news. Sad news. This one really hurt me. I saw this a few weeks
Dude.
ago, but we have not talked about it yet. East Bay shutting down at the end of 2022. That is kind of
Rip.
sad.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
I was really I guess I wasn't super surprised. Maybe I should. But Mocha's originally came out in 2001.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Get the
First-
magazines
first-
every week, man.
first the
Those-
fat boys break up. Now every day I wake up, somebody's got a problem with Hayes. I mean, come on. This is fresh. This is like really sad news.
It is.
Not that I might have bought over time, maybe a t-shirt, and I think I remember buying a pair of shoes,
From the magazine.
and I couldn't even tell you what shoe it was. I did have these. I never had the pennies. I never had the flights over the big eyeball looking ones. The ones directly, I never had those. The ones directly to the right, the navy white ones in the back here. I hooped in those for whatever year this was. I played ball in those.
That's the basketball version of the Monarch right there.
No, it was a little bit better than that.
The white and blue is. The other ones.
You got to think at that time. It's so also you can't tell from here. Okay, on the one next to it in the back, you can see it's got these laces like
the net.
And
Yeah.
I don't know, but I played ball in these.
It is
whatever year
really
this
dope.
was.
I like the black ones actually.
I don't like. I never liked the black ones, but I played ball in those, and the up tempos up here are classics.
Yeah.
But man, I used to pretend this. You probably did something similar. I was gonna have like story time. My East Bay was, I'd get it. I'd get a Sharpie. I'd go take a poop, and then I would pretend like I just got a scholarship from North Carolina, or whatever. I'd be like, okay, let's see. They just open up the vault and they say, you can get whatever you want, right?
From
And
East
you
Bay.
just start circling, right? I would get all the Carolina stuff if it's really cool. Get a jersey, pants. Like I do that every single time I got to East Bay.
East Bay, when I first started buying Jordans, and my sneaker life isn't that old, would have been around 2012 ish.
How old
Starting
are you
then?
at this point?
I was a senior in high school in 2012, or I graduated. That's when I graduated.
Would that mean I
and
met you in 2011 then?
Yep, that's right.
We've known each other 11, 12 years. How about that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyways, East Bay, if you bought releases off East Bay, you did not have to pay sales tax. And so that's where I hit all the time. Every sneaker that I wanted, I was hitting on East Bay. The first time I didn't hit one was that I really wanted was Space Jams. The Space Jams. I remember we had I think you and I were coaching together when the Space Jams came out.
Yeah.
And I was on the bench during the game refreshing my phone to get the Space
Were you really? And you
I
hit them?
No, I didn't get them. And then I actually got them at work on the next Monday. They restocked. They did a surprise like shock restock, and I was able to hit them then. But yeah, I was like 3 hours in. I feel like there used to be some long wait times on East Bay, Foot Locker.
I just had another memory, like an era memory of this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a slide for this. It's just, it popped into my head. What I really remember East Bay for was, let me find the year. It's probably going to be 90. Well, it was Allen Iverson, right? It was Allen Iverson at Georgetown. So this is going to be probably 94 or 95. The Nike college uniforms in that era, man, so many good ones. UConn is a classic. Georgetown, Carolina, Syracuse, Michigan. That's what's coming to mind when I see this page, is like that era of shorts and Nike gear. Which I loved all. Like I had this was before I was super. Well, that's not exactly true, but right now, like you couldn't come in my house and find anything that wasn't sports gear that's of a team that I don't cheer for. Right? It's all Carolina stuff. It'll be all Carolina stuff, or all Grizzlies stuff, or Titans gear. It's teams that I actually watch and listen. Like I used to just buy whatever was cool. So I would have some Syracuse shorts and I'd mix it with a UConn.
I remember those Syracuse shorts.
Yep. Dude, I love those Syracuse shorts. I had them until I sold them on eBay when we first started still dripping stuff. Right. And some Michigan, huge baggy. I mean, this was when I was in college. I mean, it was like super baggy, humongous shorts. But it makes me think of all that era. That was just, man, when life was simpler.
When life was simpler. All right, we got a few more Jordans to check out. Shout out we got to give him his flowers. Hayes, shout out to you for keeping it positive this week. This has been a very pleasant, mostly positive. But I mean, there's gonna be some negative news every now and then, so that's okay. But some olive Jordan 7s.
This is negative. I mean, first of all, this is a horrible, horrible name. Is that olive in any way, shape, or form? So stupid. Where's the olive on this?
Yeah, it almost looks. Will you get canceled if you say the colorway was tribal?
I don't think so. I think that's what they're trying to go for here.
Right.
Would you get
That's-
canceled? Are you really concerned that we're? Have you
No,
ever
I'm
had
not.
any concern of that? This is
No,
tribal.
but I'm talking about Jordan Brand. Would they
Oh.
be concerned about that?
I have no idea. But anyway, the name is
Sorry,
horrible.
we're looking at the Air Jordan 7 Olive. If we
Yeah.
didn't make that clear, it's got a black overlay. It almost looks khaki to me. Maybe Nike is notorious for messing up the colors in their pictures, so maybe that
Yeah.
is going to be an olive color, but the rest of it looks like kind of a Bordeaux color on the
Yeah,
Jumpman, and then a gold. I would say that's a gold. It almost looks like when they had the pattern on the Black History, like 2013 Black
on the
History
Grizzlies
month.
jerseys. This is what it looks like on the back. It looks like
Yeah.
the Grizzlies City jerseys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the piping around the city jerseys looks like this as well. Yep.
But
But
the
yeah,
shoe
I
sucks
agree.
besides the back branding. Like from behind, these shoes look like they're going to be absolute fire. And then you come to the side and this sucks. Like this shoe is trash. You shouldn't buy this shoe.
It's a
But the
poor
back
man's
of
Bordeaux.
it looks, the back here, I mean, look at, especially with the colors they picked for the back here.
Mm-hmm.
That is so sick. The Nike Air, the stuff on the toe. Dude, the back of them are, take the back off those and put them on something else. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. The back does look cool. Yeah, they messed up, especially on the side of that shoe where there's some squiggly lines or something. It's not a good look. All right, last Jordan. We'll get going. Try to end this at an hour promptly. Got True Blue ones. Air Jordan 1 True Blue.
Yeah, these are this week. That's why you're gonna have time, or maybe it's next week. It's sometime in the next few days.
Mm-hmm.
This will be a must get. I mean, this will be summer hot. I think these are women's, if I'm not mistaken.
They kind of look. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, I want to love these and wear them. I probably wouldn't wear them, but I love. They're dope. Like they are a hold on to them, and you'll be able to sell them in the summer. What do you think? No,
I don't know the market, the sneaker market nowadays.
Okay.
Shoes that I think are dope, usually, well, I'd say used to, shoes that I thought were dope would sell out. Now, I guess I'm old. Because if if I like a shoe and I think it's super dope, like those Air Max 1s that we both got, or I think you got them, right? The brown ones? Yeah. Those sat.
I wore those today.
Yeah, those sat. I thought those were for sure going to sell out. They had everything. And then you put a collab on something and it's going to sell out no matter what. So these will, I just am not good at predicting the market. I'm too old for that. These come out, by the way, on January 14th. So
14th,
next week,
okay.
2 weeks, 11 days from now.
I think these are ones that you should go for. If you're listening, I think you're going to be able to make a little bit of money on this. I don't think this would be a waste of your time.
Yeah. What did you think about I'm going to call it the Toro 5 remake, but they're calling it the Dunk on Mars
women's one?
Jordan 5? Yeah.
It's a women's.
The red Jordan 5.
Have you ever had a pair of Toros?
No.
Okay, so here's the deal with them. It's suede, and
the whole thing is suede.
They get the smallest little ding, and they're ruined. And I had a pair, and that's my experience with them. It was you wear them a time or two, and you get a little anything on it. It's almost like wearing a shoe that's all patent leather or all 3M. Like you mess part of it up, and the whole thing is ruined. And that's I won't ever wear any of those or have them ever again.
All right. Last couple things. Apparently, Hayes has some memory loss here because I'm pretty sure that.
Did you remember this?
Yes.
Okay, listen. Wait a second.
So here's Hayes' slide for those that are just listening to us on iTunes. Round 2 Richmond shutdown ? This happened 3 years ago.
3 years ago. It was so apparently they got pretty beat up with the riots in 2020.
Yes. Yep. And
I
they never
totally either-
reopened after that.
because I remember Dan saying that he went to Round 2 Richmond, right? Didn't he say that?
I don't know if Dan did. I went.
Maybe it was you. When was that?
Probably had to be within a year of them closing.
See, that's what my
trying to
head
think.
was.
2019, 2020. Had to be
Dude,
2019.
we were in
2019 is when I
Williamsburg.
went.
So I'm 45 minutes from Richmond, and I'm like, one of these mornings, I'm going to get up early before everybody's awake. I'm going to drive to Richmond. I'm going to go to Round 2. And I Google it, and I'm like, Round 2, the OG flagship store is permanently closed? Totally forgot.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed because I was really excited about
Oh, it was
hitting up.
such
I've never
a
been
cool
to
store.
Round 2.
That's the only one I've ever been to. And really, that's the one that I like because it's the vintage. It's not the hype of LA. It's not the hype of Chicago and Miami and all those other places. I don't feel like they had as much hype wear as those other stores just because of the big city, I guess, probably. But yeah, very sad.
Man,
Very
that was
sad.
heartbreaking, relatively. I was over it pretty quick, but nonetheless, I was like, I'm this close to Richmond. I'm going to go to Round 2. And I had my kids watch a couple of the shows because I thought we were going to go.
Oh,
And
man.
yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
What an idiot. But I definitely didn't realize that it was from they got rioted so bad. I was like, man, that sucks. And it's totally counterintuitive. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
of all the places, how about not attack a black-owned business and a store that employs a bunch of that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Well,
Call
Round
me-
2 is
call me
not
crazy.
a black-owned business.
No. I mean, but
Contributing to culture.
that is what I mean. But then also
right.
all the other black
black-owned
were-
businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And speaking of Round 2, here's Hayes again.
Yeah. Word last jab. This actually we've seen way, way, way worse.
Yeah.
And
There's no pubes on this shoe.
there's no pubes. I kind of like the little spiky thing coming off of it for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know. This isn't the worst we've seen, but since I was talking
Mm.
about Round 2, and I stumbled on this when I was looking up Round 2. It's like, oh, this is a new one, a new collab.
This isn't the worst we've seen shoe-wise. Please go to our YouTube. We're at 53 minutes right now. But those pants and that bag from Sean
what the heck is
are,
his pants doing?
are
bro?
the worst things that I've seen in a while.
yeah
He makes up
the
for
mostly the pants. Like, what are the pants, man?
it.
But you got to respect the guy. He's like, screw it, I'm gonna do me. We've
He
talked about
does
that a
him.
lot. Hey, listen,
Yep.
we've talked about if you like it, then rock it. Like, there is
Yep.
nobody that likes it and rocks it like Sean, and that I can
Exactly.
respect. No matter what
Yep.
anybody else thinks, like he does him.
Yep. He does get a little in his feelings about it sometimes, but
Yeah,
that's all right.
it's
Everybody
been
gets
fun.
gets
It has
emotional
been
sometimes.
it has been fun going back and watching Round 2 of the show. You should go back
Yeah.
and watch a few episodes. Yeah,
I I
because-
didn't watch it all the way through. I probably stopped season 5 maybe.
well, they haven't had any
Um,
like 3 or 4 years since COVID.
Yeah. Okay.
It also makes me know that we're on to something, and we actually know what we're talking about now. When I go back and watch all this stuff, especially the vintage stuff, when I see all these people come in, I'm like, well, that's trash. That's trash. Oh, I'd pay $25 for that and sell it for 50. And like, I can do that now. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's so depressing that Round 2, the OG, is closed. God, COVID.
Yeah, it is sad. That's all I've got. Outside the box news. You want to jump into that? Did you see the football play yesterday from the
I
Bills
don't
game?
watch football. I heard about it. It's hard to not
Yeah.
know that. I mean, I
Right.
saw. I just read about it, but that was it.
Yeah. If you're
Were you
living
watching
under a
it?
rock. No, I wasn't. I heard something happen at like 11:30 last night. I was on Twitter and then I saw everything. I went down a rabbit hole. I guess I was getting in. I was like 10:30. I thought, oh, I'm gonna get some nice sleep tonight. And then I read about it and read everything for about an hour. So I was in
Wow.
some rabbit holes. So yeah, prayers for Damar Hamlin, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I
He's a
guess
rookie.
he's
I didn't.
suffered cardiac arrest. He's 24 years old. The scary
Doesn't that
part
make
is
you ask a lot of questions?
the scary part to me is like that was just a routine play, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
Lots of interesting questions that I hope are answered, which it's not my business. So
yeah, to me, yeah, I come at it usually from a different angle on those things when I don't know, it kind of annoys me when people like when somebody passes like he's not passed, so don't hear what I'm not saying. But when something like that happens or somebody passes away, what's the cause? It's kind of like, does it matter now? I mean, for him, it does, right? Because he didn't pass away. But
I guess it would have mattered
like
because if you want to prevent it from happening,
right,
then what's the deal? And maybe it's just because social media and I found, again, we're so old, man. We've had so many. It seems like there is more and more younger people that are totally fine, and like all of a sudden, that's weird. Makes you scratch your head.
yeah,
Or maybe it's just publicized more, or it's more.
right.
And that very well could be the case. I'm not trying to be some weird conspiracy guy,
Well,
but
I mean, going back earlier, and I know I'm gonna get out in front of this before anybody else tries to come on our pod and say, I think people are thinking that if you're listening to this, I don't think Hayes is just saying the COVID vaccine. Let's
not at all.
get that straight. It's stuff. I guess going back to how we opened this podcast, how easy our life is now, and we have made everything where if I don't want to, I don't have to get up off the couch for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I can order food to my house that's not good for me. I can watch whatever I want on TV. I can stay there. I don't have to go outside. Don't have to get fresh air. And I don't know how the quote goes, but we've done so much to improve our lives that it's actually done the opposite of like we're not getting exercise. Now, this guy was an NFL player. Like, I'm not talking about him. But to your point, young people suffering heart attacks more and cancer. Cancer is affected. It doesn't matter what age you are now, I don't feel like. And it's kind of scary. I don't know
think
if
you
you're
just
frozen.
hear about it. No. I was listening.
Okay.
It's probably a mix of both, right? We hear
Yeah.
about it more because it's in the news and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I got all kinds of skepticism about all the government, period, whether it's left or right.
That's
I don't
fair.
trust in-
That's because
I
your
hope I've
parents-
made that. I hope I've made that very clear. As you feel like, for whatever reason, I get painted into the corner, and bro, I don't trust any of them. None of it. No, nor should you.
Sorry.
And that's just my
Just had
opinion.
to-
And you can have your own opinion, but your opinion should be mine.
Do you think that stems from your parents telling you that Santa Claus was real?
My parents didn't tell me Santa Claus was real.
Oh, okay. So, different psychological
I never
route
believed.
we need to go
We
down
didn't talk
next
about.
time.
I never believed in Santa Claus. I walked into my granddad and changing into his Santa Claus costume to surprise us as Santa Claus, and I never believed after that. I was maybe 4. There's video evidence of this somewhere. My parents have it.
So it wasn't like, okay, I gotcha. But maybe that's it. Maybe you believed before then, and you realized this
Well, I
whole
mean, that was
institution
3 and
is a
4.
lie.
I was 3 and
And
4.
I think there's some deep psychological issues there.
I got some deep psychological issues. Like, I got nothing to hide.
All right. Well, that was a solid pod. Solid
It
hour.
was. Can I end it on just maybe 2 thoughts, maybe 3?
Okay. I'll flash a little
It's
what you
kind of
learned.
outside the. What did you learn? Okay, so I what does this mean in basketball? When you see this, what does this mean?
Usually somebody got dunked on, right?
Yeah. So why in the heck is it if a girl dunks, whether there's anybody even remotely close, they don't even have to be half court. Why are the bench doing this when a girl dunks?
Maybe because it's not as common.
But we're all equal.
You got a point.
That
I
is so
don't know.
stupid and bothersome, and I'm sick of it. If a girl dunks, you shouldn't do this. You can get hype, but you can dunk on nobody. There's nobody within half court. God, mother. Oh, that's a really, really so stupid. I don't know why. I just saw a video right before we got on the podcast, and I was like, that makes me so mad. Why are these people doing this? There's nobody
Yes.
close. Oh, okay. That's number one. Number two is LeBron is about to break one of the biggest sports records of all time. One of the most pedestal, the all-time NBA scorer. He's going to break this, and it's going to be
Yeah.
February or March. Okay.
Yep.
So what you need to be doing, Mason, is getting LeBron stuff, old stuff. I've bought cards. I'm trying to get jersey. Look, it's just economical. You are going to be able to, you buy now, when he breaks the record, all of his stuff is going to go through the roof. And it's
Good
going to
point.
stay that way. So so from a just earning money perspective and making good business decisions, go on eBay and start buying popular, difficult to find LeBron stuff. Okay.
All right.
Trust me on this one. Okay. Lastly,
Hold on,
basketball's
I got
Go ahead.
a basketball comment on LeBron. I think that commentators on LeBron or analysts that talk about LeBron are completely ridiculous when everybody says that passing is his best trait. Like you said, he's about to break the all-time scoring record. Scoring is his best trait. Okay? Let's just leave it at that. He's a good passer.
he
He is a great passer,
He is an absolutely great passer.
but that's not his
There
best
is no
attribute.
I think what they mean is related to, like, if Jordan and Kobe are your reference point, and they should
Right.
be, if that's your reference point, Jordan and Kobe are taking the last shot, whether they are open or not, in almost every game. They're demanding the ball. They're going to get it, and they're going to make it happen. LeBron, especially earlier in the career, was unselfish to a fault, and that's what they're still referencing, I think, is that
Right.
his willingness to pass, but he's a great passer, like
Yeah.
phenomenal passer.
Yeah, agreed. He's a great scorer too. Let's just leave that
He's
narrative.
a pretty
out there
dang
as
good
well,
scorer.
I
But
don't feel
not
like
only
he gets
that,
that credit.
Listen, I don't even think he's just consistent,
Right.
super consistent. You
Hey,
know,
freak of an
this
athlete.
guy until I don't know, maybe 3 years from now, he's going to average 25 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a block, a couple steals. He's going to shoot 52% from the field. He's going to shoot. This is getting really nerdy basketball knowledge. Like, he is going to do that every single year until he decides he doesn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
In which
Yeah,
he's
to
so
me,
arrogant,
I mean-
like he's so full of himself that he will want to put so much distance between the
Right.
record and him, where you feel this. It's impossible.
Well,
Nobody's ever.
Think
gonna
about
pass him.
this. There's nobody currently in the NBA that will pass him.
You could
Luka-
argue Luka right now.
You could, but
She's my
I
favorite
think
player.
I think I heard a stat the other day. Luka year 4 versus LeBron year 4. He's 1,400 points off pace.
But what's the age? Like,
I think it's the same.
I would bet
'cause
LeBron was a little bit older, or
he could have
Luka
been.
was a little bit older. I would bet.
Luka's a little bit older now.
No, at that time,
God.
I bet LeBron was a little bit older. I could be wrong.
4 seasons in is all. Yeah,
Luka would be a little bit older.
but
because the rule was different, right? At that point, you had to be a year removed from college, so he's probably a year
Right.
behind age-wise.
LeBron would be, yeah, but I'm saying 4 seasons in. Just after 4 seasons.
So look,
So
this is my
Luka-
opinion.
Point inflation will help.
Yeah.
But Luka's still not there yet.
My opinion would be Luka is about to go on a string of 10 years averaging 30-plus points a game. And that's a lot of points.
That's
As long as he stays healthy. Okay, so along these lines, and this is way too much basketball talk, and now we're overtime. Dang it.
It's all right.
Basketball is really, really fun for me. And the first time in a long time. You got Luka, who had 60 the other night, and then last night you had Klay Thompson hit a game winner. He had 54. Donovan Mitchell had 71. And then just now Giannis had 55. That's his career high. Like, you're having all these really high, like, that's fun, man. That's a fun. You can argue defense and it's boring and it's just one-on-one and pick and roll and whatever, yada, yada, yada. I haven't had this much fun with basketball in a while. And
I think it's awesome. There's legitimately 8 teams, I think, that could win the championship.
Yeah.
And that's
Grizzlies,
a lot of fun. Grizzlies are
team-wise, they are
there.
freaking good. Yeah.
They are, yeah. Their
It's hard to
defense
argue
is
now.
unbelievable.
Especially you get Bane back. He's finally coming back.
Jaren
Jackson's back.
He's
good.
they're
solid guys. I don't think this is way too much basketball talk. I'm so sorry. I don't think there's actually an article on ESPN right now that talks about the value of Brooks. I don't think they can win with him as their starting shooting guard or small forward. He might be a great defender. He appears to have a horrible basketball IQ. And like so many times a game, I was just watching like, golly, but of course that happened. And of course it was Devin Brooks because he's an idiot. And he's got the weird shot form.
He's a taller Patrick Beverly.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that in that situation?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It's the J.R. Smith IQ. You're just like, I don't think they can win. I think until Zaire Williams is ready to be the starting small forward and Dylan Brooks the backup, I think that's when the Grizzlies will take off.
Okay. All right.
Hot take.
Thanks for listening to the Still Dripping Basketball Hour.
Sorry, guys. Just nerded out.
It's been we'll talk more basketball if that's what you guys want to hear. That's not an issue for Hayes and I. The other two might have trouble keeping up, but for us, that's no issue. But again, thank you for listening to the Still Dripping Happy Hour. I'm your host, Mason. I'm signing off for Hayes. Holla. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.
Let's get this money.
Remember to go follow us at Still Dripping TN. Did I already say that? I don't know if I did.
I don't think you did.
Go give us a rating of 5 stars and submit a review, and we'll read it. And with that, Hayes, you wrapping out, or are we just going to let it ride?
Nah, let's
let it ride. You guys have a good week. Welcome to 2023. Happy New Year.
Peace. Blessings. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Oh, yeah. Oh, spandex. I'm wearing spandex. I'm out in my garage, and that's cold as heck. I wish I had this kerosene heater on, but I didn't think that far ahead. I'm about to go to bed. Mason is too. I'm too old for this. Country fried cooking with the Williamsburg colonial racists everywhere. Not really. I wear my buckle shoes. I buckle shoes. I buckle you. I buckle my belt and I whip you with it. That's good.
We'll see you next week.